I did not study for this test.
So I pulled over to call Shana with the idea.
Hello.
Hey, I've got you on speaker and I'm recording, so just a heads up.
Okay.
Okay, so my idea was, and feel free to say no, for real. Like, there's no like, I do not intend for there to be any like, you have to do this as part of your job, right?
I'll say no if I think it's a bad idea. Don't worry.
Okay. All right, so right about here, it occurred to me that I didn't really explain what Shana and I were talking about here. And so I want to give a little context. We are talking about me moving away from the executive director position here at Corner to Corner, moving to a board seat and having Shana become the executive director. In a word, this is on our minds because of racism and the history of racism in our country. This has often meant that minorities, especially African Americans, were locked out of leadership roles. This has been true in corporations, but this has also been true in the nonprofit sector and the Christian nonprofit sector. So we believe this is important for a number of reasons. The first one is that we're all created in the image of God. We are all image bearers. That means no matter what your race, your gender, or your background, your ability, right? That you have skills, talents, passions, right? And drive that are God-given. Number two, as a Christian organization, we should use any power or privilege that we have for the good of our minority community members. Number three, the community that we live in, that we serve, and that we walk alongside of has many Black leaders that are amazing leaders. Number four, in order to create more opportunities, this means intentionally stepping aside. What that actually looks like is instead of hoarding power or keeping it for ourselves, we move aside to make room for our neighbor. Number five, this means that I directly need to step aside if we're going to be led by the community from top to bottom. And this is not a sacrifice, but rather a joy as we see what God does in our community under a community member's leadership. We believe this makes Corner to Corner stronger and better. This is not a sacrifice, right? But this is leveling up. So this video series, what we're doing here, is just us documenting the highs and lows, the thought behind it, the philosophy behind it, and then the direct action we are taking to make this happen, and the bumps and bruises along the way. We want to really be transparent as we journey on this, and also put forth a challenge to other Christian nonprofit groups who maybe predominantly serve in minority communities. What does your leadership look like? What does your board look like? And what are you going to do to change that narrative? So, you know, this whole like transition process, like you becoming executive director,
Okay.
the desire is there, the hope is there, and the plans are, you know, starting to come together, talking about the board, we're doing all that stuff. But I don't think either one of us would say, oh, we know exactly the right way to do this or the step-by-step process. Like, we're kind of going into it together, kind of on a grand adventure kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
I think that would be really interesting to film
Okay.
as kind of like a weekly YouTube documentary.
All right.
You know?
I'm down with the YouTube documentary. I can tell if you're getting on my nerves or not.
No, you can say like, here's what I'm worried about. Here's what I'm mad about. Yeah, here's what I think Will's not thinking well about. Like all those things, you know?
Okay, as long as I can be brutally honest.
Oh no, I will need you to be honest. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pulled over, by the way. Like, I'm not filming this and talking to you while driving. Record on your phone a little video of just like, what are your initial fears and concerns and hopes.
I thought this was going to be one of your crazy harebrained schemes or whatever it's called. This makes sense. I can do this.
All right, so I just got off the phone with Will, and he told me about this amazing video diary that he wanted to do every week about me becoming executive director. And so he wants my thoughts. here they are. My first thought is, can we do this every week? Ambitious. My second thought is this, and I hope this helps somebody else. So I know that Will does a lot of work that I'm not privy to. Like, I don't know what he does. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of conversations and phone calls. And sometimes I'm like, can I do this job? Can I be the executive director? And of course, he's not throwing me into the deep end like blind. But, you know, sometimes you wonder if you are skilled and valuable. But my 31, I just turned 31 a couple days ago. My 31st year around the sun resolution is that I will have the confidence to know that I can do the thing. Like, I can do the thing. There is no better person qualified. I'm a great learner. I ask good questions. I can do this, right? Sometimes I don't think I can do this. Like, people don't know what a hard job it is to be the executive director of a nonprofit. So that's kind of my second thought, is like, can I do this? I never saw myself doing this before. I do now, but before, so I didn't like go to school for this or prep for this in any kind of way. So yeah, that's my second thought. My third thought is doing this every week, honey. He gonna run my nerves, okay? He gonna run my nerves. So some of these video diaries might be like, I wish he would stop calling me. But I don't know. I'm excited. I'm still in the thrust of the academy stuff, so I haven't really thought deeply about it as our class starts in a few days. But we're gonna make it do what it do.